Okay, so to make your Chinese New Year knot, good luck knot, you're going to need some 2mm cord. Now I'm using a waxed cotton cord here, which is 2mm, or I've also got some Chinese knotting braid, which is a sort of satiny feel to it. It's more slippery and it's not quite as easy to work with, but you can still get some nice results. So I'm using a 2mm one, which is 332s in inches. You'll need some scissors. You'll also need a sort of multifunctional jewellery making tool. Now this is optional. The only part of it that we're actually going to use is the flat part of it, just to hold our braid when we're knotting it. So you don't absolutely need it, it just might come in handy. And then you're going to need some beads. And I've got a selection here of polymer clay beads. I've got some paper beads. I've got some wooden beads. I've got a variety of different beads. I've even got some lava beads here that you could use. So you just need your selection of beads. You can buy beads, you can make beads. It's entirely up to you. But you'll just need 2 beads. Well, you might want to use more than 2 beads, but here you can see I've used 2 beads. And these are beads that I've made. They're paper beads, and I've coated them in some UV resin with some holographic glitter included, just to give them that super glossy, sparkly Chinese New Year gold shine to them. So what we're going to start doing is making our knot, and I'm just going to draw the pattern that you need to be making. So this is what we're wanting our cord to look like to start with. So we're going to make some loops. So we start by folding the cord in half, and then with the top loop we're then going to make a second loop to the left and then another loop to the right. And be careful not to get your cords crossed over, and you want them all to be about the same length. It will make it much easier to be the same length. Now for the first one we're going to be going in a clockwise direction. So we're going to take our ends and we're going to take them up over the left hand loop. But with your finger you want to create the 4th loop. So if you can see, I've wrapped it around my finger and I've taken it up over the first loop. And it's important to make sure that you do that and you keep that loop secure. You're then going to take that left loop and you're going to wrap it over the ends and the top loop. You're then going to take the top loop and loop it over the other 2 loops that you've got. So the loop you originally moved and the one that's on the right. It will make sense in a minute, I promise you. It might be easier to do this and work along with me. Now you can see that we've got one loop that's much longer than the rest. That's the loop that we've done absolutely nothing with so far. And that's the one that we're going to poke into the hole that we created right at the very beginning with our finger. And now it should be quite secure. You can pop your fingers into all of the loops and give it a little tighten up, and you should start to see that your square knot has come into creation. There we go. That's your first part of your knot. So just to show you, we're going to take those ends up. We're going to take that end over, and then that end, the one that's over there, that was the really long one that we had left over. That's going to go through that loop. And we're going to go in a clockwise direction for the first one. Okay, so you might decide that you want to leave it there, but for a traditional good luck knot, it has 2 rounds. So remember, the first round, we went in a clockwise direction. For the second round, we're going to go in the anti-clockwise direction. So we're going to take our ends and we're going to go up over that side, take that over to there, take that down to there, and then that loop, which we have the long one left, that's the one we're going to make. And we're going to pop it through that hole that we create right at the beginning. So I will show you what I mean. So we're going to take it up and we're going to make that loop right at the beginning. But this time, remember, we're going the other way round. We're going to cross that loop over we're going to bring that loop down, and you can see we've got one loop that's longer than the rest. That's the one we've done nothing with so far, and that's the one that we poke into that loop that we create right at the very beginning. So you can see already that we've created another cross or another square. And you can see on here that I've got my cords slightly twisted. Easy to sort out. Just make sure that you get your cords nice and flat and not twisted, and then just give everything a little tug. Now, you'd never want to tug these too hard just to begin with. Just want to make sure that they're nice and tidy. Because for the next part, what we're going to do is, if you look on the other side, you can see we've got 4 little loops, and these are going to be our extra loops. So we're just going to pull those out. Now, this is where, if we haven't pulled it too tight in the beginning, it is much easier to pull them out. Now, my nails are rubbish at the moment, and it's a bit tricky for me to pull them out. So I'm going to get a tool to help me. I'm just going to use my ring needle nose pliers, and I'm just going to pop them in there and just pull it out. They are fairly easy to pull out. You could use a pencil or a knitting needle or a paintbrush end, something like that. And then that is what creates your second row of loops. So you've got your big loops and your little loops with your square knot in the middle. And there we go. There you have your good luck austerity knot. Perfect for celebrating Chinese New Year. So there's one last little bit that we need to do, and that will be to add the beads that go on the bottom. So there we go. Okay, so as you can see, the last bit for this is where we're going to be adding our beads, and these are some beads I've made. They are paper beads. Now remember, you can use any beads you want. I've just chosen to use paper beads, and I've given them a glaze with some UV resin, and I've included some gold holographic glitter. So what you need to do is take your loose ends and just make sure that they are both the same length. Chop off any excess. And then just start to thread your bead through. Now, you might choose to use 2 beads, 1 bead, 3 beads, 5 beads. The choice is yours. I just, for these ones, chose to use just the 1 bead. I just thought it would look quite nice with 1 bead. So pop your bead down, pop it in a knot. And this is where the flat end of your pliers is going to come in handy. Just to grip hold of that end of the cord, and then just to hold your knot and to thread, push your knot down to the bottom and to give it a good pull. And there we go, that will hold it in place. And then we'll pop the second bead on, like so. Sometimes it helps to give the bead or the cord a little twist as it goes through. Again, tie a knot, hold the end with your flat part of the pliers, and push the knot up and give it a pull. It just helps you to get a bit of a grip on that end so you can get your knot right down the bottom. And there we go. There is your finished good luck knot, which I think look really pretty. And they make really nice little gifts. You could add them to a parcel, you could add them to a card. They look really quite delicate and they look quite complicated to make, but they're not. And this is the one that I've made using the Chinese knotting braid, which has a much more silky feel to it. I like both of them. They just have a very different feel to them, and this one was a lot larger than the other two. So there we go. There's just one last bit that you need to do, and that is you need to sort out the ends. So for the Chinese knotting braid, it is a nylon, and the easiest way to sort those ends out to stop them from fraying is to use a lighter or a candle or a match just to burn the ends, and it will melt them. Now these ones, because they're cotton, they don't burn. So what you would need to do is, on these ones, I have used some clear nail polish, or you might want to use some glue or a little bit of varnish, because otherwise the ends will fray. They are made out of cotton around an interior, and they are sort of woven, so they will fray if you don't sort them out. And there we go, there you have it. 3 varieties of Chinese knots, all sorted, and there we go. You can have a go at making yours. Would love to see yours. Feel free to post your pictures on our Squeaky Chimp beading group. I'll leave a link below. And yeah, happy Chinese New Year.